What is going on, guys? JPOD-SPORTS, and welcome back to another video. So another tough loss for the Giants as they fall to 1-3, and pretty much season is pretty much over. I mean, obviously there's a chance of something happening, but I don't see it. I just don't think we have enough to be able to capitalize on certain opportunities. I mean, we one time possession 35-24, and we still ended up losing. We kicked 5 field goals one call is questionable where it's 4th and 3, and it's gotta come to a point because the whole motto of the Giants has been "F it," right? After that week one games, "F it," do this. But the aggressiveness of Brian Dable, it's just I don't know what happened to it. Like in that 2022 season, we won games off aggression. We won games off going for it. I mean, in the biggest game of the season in 2022 against Washington, it was 4th and 9 at the 45-yard line, and the Giants went for it. So I just don't know if it's the lack of confidence in the team or it's just you're playing the way the game's going, I guess. You trust in the defense. I'm going for it there. It's 4th and 3. Most likely you're gonna get the stop at the 3-yard line. And if you can't pick up 3 yards of Malik Neighbors or Wanda Robinson, then you're in a tough position. The play calling was good. The Giants offense was moving, and it's self-inflicted wounds of holding calls, this and that. And there was also a really bad call that was should have been called an overshown on a face mask, which was called against Daniel Bellinger. I mean, it's just so many things, that didn't go in our favor. But also, it's like at the end of the day, the Giants beat themselves. It's like you had time possession, you were in the red zone constantly, and you just couldn't convert. And there's a lot too many drop passes. The Deontay Banks couldn't cover a parked car. I mean, the guy's getting cooked left and right. I mean, the game plan in the second half was better on defense. CeeDee Lamb was not doing as much. He finally doubled him. I don't know why he wasn't doubled the entire game. I mean, the run game, the worst rush defense in the NFL only got 24 yards. Like, I don't go to like. I mean, and then the worst rushing team also was getting like 4-yard chunk plays, play after play and play. It just killed the Giants. And then you have the life at the end where 28 seconds, pretty much nothing might not happen, but you never know. And Daniel Jones was a pick, throwaway interception. But I mean, you look at the yards rushing, it's 14 carries to Singletary, 24 yards, 1.7 yards a carry. And then you have Jones, 4 carries, 3 yards. I mean, and then there's a touchdown it's called back. I mean, it's just the Giants just beat themselves. I mean, you already had the refs not in your favor, and it was a 1v3, the Giants, refs, and Cowboys versus the Giants. You cannot beat yourself. This was a game in your hands. You had the ball left. I mean, on 3rd and 6, Wanda Robinson, even though he got held, but he dropped the ball. I don't know why he's running before he catches the ball. Like, just stop and catch it. And then Darius Slayton drops one, which was a hard catch, but hit your hands. You expect your receiver to catch it. Jones missed a couple touchdowns. I mean, I don't know, left a lot on the board that we should have had. I mean, Cowboys weren't the better. I mean, they won, but the Giants they had everything to win the game. Everything that could have been went right for the most part was in the Giants' favor. I just at least found our kicker got in a field goal. Malik Neighbors, absolute superstar, top 10 wide receiver in the league already. I mean, this guy, if for the next quarterback, which will have another quarterback, because there's no way in hell Daniel doesn't play bad. He's not the reason why I lost. You got to start over. You're not going to have Daniel Jones take 30% of your cap space next year. You could cut him a free $20 million and get a rookie contract. The Giants aren't going to finish anything. They're not making the playoffs. It sure have hope. They got next couple games. It's not like the hardest schedule, but they're not making the playoffs. You got the Seahawks next week, 10 days of rest. They don't even know Malik Davis can play. I mean, he's got a concussion. He's out. He was out of the game after the drop on 4th and 6. And then you got the Seahawks, Bengals, which is winnable. Eagles. I mean, that's a loss. I mean, and then Steelers in Pittsburgh, and then Washington, and then the Panthers. Like, it's not a hard schedule coming up, but I don't see this team winning anything more than 7 games. So the Giants' season is pretty much over. They really should be 3-1 right now if they didn't beat themselves. Because you could say you could have had an extra kicker elevated to practice squad, even though just the organ injury wasn't the injury Grimby got taken out for, but he was on that. He was on the injury report, and you have the extra roster spot to call up a kicker, and not even call up such signs of it because we don't have it in the practice squad, and they didn't do that. So I think Brian Abel and Joe Shane definitely get another year at least. They get their quarterback, get their guy. I mean, it just I don't know. Nick Neighbors say 15 targets, 12 catches, 100 and I think 12 yards, 115 yards. I mean, and Wando had 11 for 71. It's like if it's not those two guys, then it's nobody. Like that's the issue with the Giants is that it's Malik Neighbors is the entire offense, and they just couldn't score either. It's like the Giants have 1 second-half touchdown all year in the first 4 weeks. Can't win like that. Slow start second half. I mean, another thing to point out. I mean, how hard is it to get a returner that could field a punt? Which the guy that fielded punts today did fine. But why can't we return kicks like a normal NFL team? It's either it's getting bobbled, it's getting muffed, or it's just a straight out fumble. Also, Devin Singletary, I mean, the guy just, I know his knee was down. Either way, the ball is coming out of his arms, his hands. It's a fumble. If his knees hit the ground, obviously it's not, but it's falling out his arms. So either way, he's losing the ball. And it's like how many, this is where not having Saquon hurts is because he can make up for the deficiency of a bad run blocking scheme. Like he creates yards for himself. Singletary could do the same thing when not at Saquon's level, top 3 running back level. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really mad. Like, I'm just more disappointed because game's in your hands. Like, you had the ball, midfield. I mean, third, like it just so many things that you like about your own team that lost you the game. Like, I know there's a bad calls happen, but you're still in a position to win. You won the time possession. You should be winning the game. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And then other than that, not Malik, CD Lamb touchdown, that was like all of the Cowboys yards. So only kicking field goals are going to win you games. I'm surprised we did not go for that 4th and 3. We should have won for it. Like I don't. I mean, that's the closest the Giants got to scoring a touchdown was at 4th and 3, and they didn't try to go for it. You go for that, you have the lead if you go for that. So a lot of things the Giants got to clean up. I mean, Brian Burns had some good run stops, but 2 quarterback hits between him and Thibodeau. Thibodeau was the only one that really showed up. I mean, this whole rush hour defensive line just is non-existent. Brian Burns is making $141 million in 5 years, and he's yet to make like his presence felt. Last week he did it, not this week. I mean, that's where we're not paying you to beat the Browns. We're paying you to beat the guy. We're paying you to beat any team, but we're paying you strictly to win these divisional matchups and outclass the other team in the trenches. And you just can't do that. Like what? Like I don't get it. Thibodeau played good today. Drove like 2 holding calls, sack, couple pressures, and quarterback hit. So he played good. Dexter Lawrence. I mean, I didn't really expect him to do anything double all game. So triple sometimes. Like it's he only can do so much. And like it's just I don't know. I mean, it's like you let the Cowboys' weakness become their strength and destroy you in the run game. That's where you really lost too, because you're expecting Daniel Jones, which he did good. Did good completing a couple hard third downs, but Daniel Jones is what Daniel Jones is. An injury-prone quarterback that hasn't had the same throwing ability of all these neck injuries, and he doesn't have the same speed, and he's not like he is what he is. This is the best version of Daniel Jones you're going to see. So he's going to be there's going to be a different quarterback next year, and I hope they just get a real corner. They need a real corner. When you're in the NFC East, you're playing CeeDee Lamb twice a year. You're playing AJ Brown twice a year. You're playing Devontae Smith twice a year, and you're playing Terry McLaurin twice a year. You need a real number 1 corner. Deontay Banks is not a horrible corner by any means. He's just not a guy that's going to shadow the other team's best receiver week by week. And he's going through an absolute gauntlet right now. So I don't expect him to be like he's not. He is. But I mean, maybe one day he could be that guy, but it's just not right now. Right now, I see him as the number 2 corner, and we knew all through training camp that the cornerback room was horrible. But you're like, okay, well, the pass rush gets there, is really better. The pass rush is not getting there, and the corners suck. So what can you really do? But one thing I want to point out is how good the O line looked today. I know DeMarcus Lawrence and Parsons were like shaking up at times, but like last year the Giants had 11 sacks one game to Dallas and 7 the other one. So they only got 1 sack, and Michael Parsons against Aaron Thomas 14 times they only got 1 pressure. So that's our positive side. So the team's it's going the right direction. You just want the result of winning, and that's all you really want in your football team is just winning, right? But they're going in the right direction. Not trying, and there's no petty wins though either. So they lost and 1-3. That's what you're gonna look at in 10 years. I could look at they made improvements. You're gonna look at they're 1-3 and they make playoffs. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, there's nothing really much more to say, and the Giants beat themselves. So that's about it for this video. But anyways, guys, see you on the next one. Yeah, I don't. It's gonna be another one of those years again. See you guys in the next video. Peace.